Hello, class, receiving teachers and students.
Hello, Mr. Kanam.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. What did we look at in our previous lesson, class? Alan.
Measuring force.
Measuring force. Good. We were measuring force using what did we use? Volta.
Spring balance.
Very good. We were measuring force using a spring balance. A spring balance is also called a Lisa.
Force meter. Force meter.
Right, very good. A spring balance is also called a force meter. It is also called a force meter. Now, force is measured using what units? Or what unit do we use to measure force? Melvin, can you tell the class and receiving students also?
Grams. Grams.
Right, Melvin says grams. Okay, force, when we measure force, the question is when we measure force. Good try. You are also measuring with grams, but what unit is used to measure force? Tara, help your brother.
Newtons.
Newtons, very good. We use newtons to measure force. Right, that was yesterday's lesson. In today's lesson, receiving teachers, we still have the same strength and the learning outcome, and we're still on unit 1. Today's topic will be on what is it like? What is it like? When you hear the question, what is it like? What do you think of? What is it like? Goodwin, what do you think of?
Describing object to others.
Describing objects to others. Right, Goodwin thinks it's describing objects to others. Very good. What is it like? Or you are really asking someone a question. Receiving students, hopefully you are telling your teacher how you feel about the question, what is it like? Right, class, from Goodwin, he says that it is describing objects to others. That's what he thinks. Let's have one more person. All thinking what Goodwin is thinking? Yes? Caleb, what do you think?
Describe something to others.
Describe something to others. Okay, so you describe something to others, or you describe objects to others. Probably what Goodwin is thinking is you describe objects, as in physical objects, to others. And what Caleb is thinking is you describing things to others. Maybe the scenery or the color, texture. Texture meaning how smooth, how rough a particular thing is. That is texture. You can describe, very good, you can describe objects and things to others using, like I said, texture, color, what else? shape, good. Size, right. You can measure texture, color, shape, size. What else? Any? What else can you describe to others?
Odor. Odor. Odor.
Odor meaning?
You smell something bad or nice. Smelling good or bad.
Thank you very much. Odor or smell. The smell. Receiving students, hopefully you are telling your teachers what you use to describe certain objects and things. Okay, these are the ones that we have up here. Texture, color, shape, size, and odor. What else can you think of? Daisy.
Height.
Height. Probably height comes with shape, height. Height. Emmanuel, what are you thinking about?
Weight. Weight.
Weight, size, height, weight. Last one more. Sconti.
Taste.
Tasting. Okay, taste. Right, receiving students, these are what your friends came up with. Hopefully you came up with a lot more lists than this, but these are basically what we use to describe something. The texture or how rough or smooth something is, color, shape, size, height, weight, odor or the smell, and taste. All right, the materials needed for this lesson would be a beaker, a wall clock, coffee mug, heating stand, a matchstick, coconut, pencils, blank paper, and a piece of lap or material. Before we get to the activity, I will give an example of what you need to do. Okay, you have your blank sheets of papers with you, so at one side of the blank sheet of paper, I would like you to describe or draw what I am going to describe. Right, the thing that is in here is about 15 centimeters long. It feels a bit sharp at one end. See if you can draw it down as I'm describing. At the other end, it feels a bit smooth. And it also feels a bit metallic. Who has already drawn what I'm describing, or who has already guessed what I'm describing? Right, it is black and red in color. Samuel, see if you can guess correctly. Receiving students, hopefully you are trying to guess what I have described to your friends at the model class. Now let's hear from Samuel what he thinks I have described.
Pencil.
I have described a pencil. Okay, good. I have described this, a pencil. Hopefully you have thought of correctly and described, written down what I have described. Okay, it's red and black in color. It's sharp at one end, and at the other end it feels kind of smooth, and Just below that, it's kind of metallic. It's about 15 centimeters, right? Okay, so Scotty is correct. It is a pencil which I was describing. Sorry, Samuel is correct. It was a pencil I was describing. Good. Today's activity, you are going to be doing something similar to what I have just shown you. I would like all group leaders to come to the front, and then we'll go through the instructions. So can I have all the group leaders coming to the front? Receiving students, you can start setting your objects. Please do hide them from your friends. Carry them very carefully. Do not look inside. That's yours. And hide it there. Don't take it out. When you go back, hold it carefully. Okay, that's yours. That's yours. That's yours. There you go. Who hasn't got one box yet? Okay, the three of you. Good. There you go. Do not show it to the other groups. Receiving students, please do the same. Whatever objects that you brought, please hide it away from the other groups. Do not show it to the other groups. Okay, this is what you are going to do. In your small groups, you split yourselves into half. Receiving students, you do that as well. Receiving teachers, please help your students to get organized. Split your groups into half. Half on one side, half on the other side. If there are 5 of you, probably 3 on one side, 2 on the other side. That's one. Number 2, you are going to write a description of the object in the space provided. Okay, that is on your book. Receiving students, hopefully you are on page 21 of your student workbook. That's the part that you are going to be working on. Okay, on your piece of paper or sheets of paper which your teacher has provided to you, you are going to now write a description of the object on that space. So I would like you to do that. You write down the description of the objects on the blank sheet of paper. Since there are not enough materials for everyone, this is what we are going to do. Receiving students and teachers, you are going to be one group and you will try to describe that object that I passed to you. You help your friends to describe. So, you start standing up and protecting that material now and start describing. Put it in the middle of your table. Look around it, discuss. Do not let the other group see what is inside that box. Do not take the materials out of the box. Do not take the object out of the box. Hide it from the other group. All members of your groups should be working together. Receiving students, you should also cooperate and work together. Remember how I was describing the pencil? Okay, you are going to be writing down a description. And I would like to see which group can come up with a very good description of the object that is in their box. You do that now. Okay, if you sit around, you are going to let the other group see what is in the box. You stand up and stay around your group members and protect the box so that the others do not see, and you start describing the object. Do that quietly, otherwise the other group will hear what you are trying to describe and they will know. don't have one object each, so they will do the description later. Yeah. They all have one object. Okay, in your groups, you try to describe what is in there. Try to do a better description than what I did with the pencil. Or a proper one. Every time thinking about the texture, how it feels, color of that object, the shape of it, the size of it, probably the length, the smell of it, or the taste of it, if you can taste the object. While on taste, there are some objects that are not for tasting, so please do not taste the objects you know very well that are not for tasting. You can use the other properties of observations to describe that object in there. And once again, talk quietly to your group so that the others do not hear. Yeah. Yeah. Right, by now each of you have already discussed in your groups of what sort of object is in there and describing that object. I will call upon two groups, receiving students and class. I will now call upon two groups to present theirs in front. While they are presenting their object in front here, I would like you to try to draw, and then you are going to be guessing what they are trying to present. Okay, so group 7 and 8, group 7. While group 7 are moving to the front, the other groups you are going to finalize your list and put them in the box for me. All members of group 7 will come to the front, and one of them is going to tell you, describe the object to the class. All of you come to the Okay, Donald is going to be describing the object in the box. Rest of you, you try to hear his description and try to come up with a drawing of it. Right, Donald. You listen very carefully to Donald's instructions. The rest of the groups, you take out your blank sheets of paper and try to draw what he's describing and imagine what he's describing. Receiving students, do try to hear what Donald is saying so that you can also guess what is in the box here.
Okay, this object inside this box it's waxy, it's big in size, it's a bit rough, and the color is green. It smells of good, and we always use it in the house. The length is about 7 centimeter, and the height is about 1 centimeter. It weighs about 20 grams. Clement.
The soap.
Correct.
Okay, you can show the class what it is. It is a soap. Very good. Now, that's what was in there. Hopefully, receiving students, you have guessed before Clement did. Okay, he says it is waxy. Hold it up. It is waxy, it's big in size, it's a bit rough, and the color is green. It smells good, and we always use it in the house. It's about 7 centimeters, and the height is about 1 centimeter. It's about 20 grams. Very good. Give a big clap to group 7. Okay, next group. Make your way to the front. They are going to be doing the similar thing to what Donald has described. Receiving students, hopefully you hear the instructions attentively and try to guess before your friends at the model class. Right, for group 8, Michaeline is going to be giving the description. The rest of us try to draw what she's going to describe and imagine it as well. Receiving students, you do the same.
The object inside the box, it has 3 legs. The legs are made of iron. Texture of the legs are gray. The top is made of metal. The top has a dark texture of black. The top is a shape of triangle. It is 10 centimeters in height. We sometimes use it during science experiments. Comment.
Spring balance.
Clement says spring balance.
No. JJ.
Okay, it is not spring balance. Receiving students, hopefully you're telling your teacher what has been described.
Emmanuel.
Clock.
Emmanuel says it is a clock. It is not a clock.
JJ.
A coconut shell.
Sorry?
Coconut shell.
No.
A coconut shell.
Samuel.
Stop clock.
No.
It is not a stop clock. Okay, I will ask Michaeline to go through the description again. You listen very carefully and try to draw it as well. You draw it as well, listening and drawing and imagining the object. Okay, she will take us through very slowly. Receiving students, please listen carefully also.
It has 3 legs. The legs are made of iron. The texture of the legs are gray. The top is made of metal. The top has a dark texture of black. The top is a shape of triangle. It is 10 centimeters in height, and we sometimes use it during science experiments.
You got
Marcia.
that?
Marcia.
Tripod stand.
Yes.
Marisha says it is a tripod stand. What do you think it is? Is she correct?
Yes.
Okay, she is correct. It is a tripod stand. Michaeline will show it to you. And hold it up. Okay, that is a tripod stand. That is what she was describing to you. It has 3 legs there. The legs are made of iron. The texture of the legs are gray. The top is made of metal. The top is dark texture of black. And it is a shape of a triangle. It is about 10 centimeters in height, and we use it during science experiment. Okay, let us give big clap to Marisha. She guessed it correctly. Thank you very much. Receiving students, I hope you did the same. Thank you, Michaeline and your group. Okay, class, we will go through each of your activities later. Receiving teachers, you do likewise at your own time. Go through different groups that have described the objects. Good. Our summary for today. The ability to communicate with others is basic to everything we do. Okay, that is our summary point number 1. And point number 2, communicating clearly helps others to understand you clearly. While receiving students and class, while you are taking down the summary, we'll recap the lesson. When we describe things to other people, we have to describe very carefully to them. And the ability to communicate with others happens every time around us. And if we clearly describe things to them, it helps others to understand us clearly as well. Good. Hopefully by now you have taken down your summary notes. Receiving teacher, I hope you taken down that quickly so that you can put that up. Our key phrase for today. Our key phrase for today is describing objects. Right. Our next lesson will be on what do I do? That's the next lesson topic. What do I do? The materials that you will bring for the next lesson is pencils, papers, and anything available in the room. With that, thank you class, receiving teachers. Have a nice day with your teacher.